How you doing today, guys? This is Alex Gomez, your favorite teacher in the whole world. Today we're gonna do some one variable two-step equations. Now this is gonna be some numbers on the worksheet that you already have that is gonna be due tomorrow. And I'm gonna do numbers 1, 3, 5, 17, and 12. 1, 3, 5, 12, and 17. So the first one, number 1 says 6 equals to a over 4 plus 2. Now, if we remember this, we gotta do reverse order of operations to undo everything and leave the variable by itself. The variable is gonna be the letter in this thing. Why is it a variable? Because we don't know what the value is for it. And that's what we're trying to find out. So, in order to undo this, some people like to do this, and we're gonna focus on the same side where the variable is at. So in order to get rid of everything here, we gotta start with whatever is farther away from the A. In this case, what's farther away from the A is gonna be the number 2. Now, you gotta start paying attention to your signs. You gotta be paying attention if they're positive or negative, because all that is gonna matter. Now in this case, if we look at this, the sign in front of the 2 belongs to the 2. So that's the same thing. Plus 2 or positive 2 is the same thing. Now in this case, since you don't have a sign in front of it, it is understood that it's going to be positive. Whenever there's not a sign, it's understood that it's going to be positive. So, with that being said, we have a plus 2, a over 4 plus 2 equals to 6. Now, we're going to get rid of this one first, and in order to get rid of the plus 2, we have to do the opposite. And the opposite of plus 2 is? Minus 2. So we're going to subtract 2, but whatever you do to one side, you better do to the other side and keep it consistent. Now, 2 minus 2, they just cancel out. So you can just draw a line. And you're going to be left with a over 4. You're going to put in your equal sign. That's why we write this line over here to keep the equal sign. And if you pay attention, it's going to come up to a funnel. It's going to make a funnel shape. Why funnel? Because we want to isolate the a, leave a by itself. So, 6 minus 2 is just 6 minus 2? 4. So now we have 4 equals to a over 4. The next step will be to get rid of this 4, since it's the only thing that's left with the a. And what is this telling you that it's currently doing?
Dividing.
Yes, so currently it's already dividing, so the next steps to undo a division, you have to do the opposite, and that is to multiply. So you're going to multiply by whatever that number is. So in this case, we're going to multiply times 4, and what you do to one side,
You do to the other.
you do to the other side. Very good. So that is going to eliminate it. Well, not really eliminating. This is saying 4 divided by 4, which is just 1. But we just cross it out because we're still going to have 1a. We just don't write the 1 in front of it. Equals, what's 4 times 4? 16. And that should be my answer. And you can check this real quick. How will you check that? Take this value and put it back where the variable is at. So let's try that. What's 16 divided by 4? 4. 4 plus 2? 6. Is this 6?
Yes.
So that means my equation is correct. Any questions on this one? Next one I'm going to do. This one is a little tricky. Because I heard, what about number 3? I was going to leave that one for the end, but let's do number 3. Because, and I'm going to show you this in a little bit again. So if you haven't written this down, don't worry about it. So, now number 3 says, it says 9x minus 7 equals to negative 7. Am I right or wrong? That's what it says right there?
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to start doing the same thing. Now my x is on the left side. That's where I want to keep it. So we're going to isolate x. I'm going to isolate this. So I'm going to draw my line if I need to. I don't need to, but for the sake of keeping it consistent, I'm going to do that. So the first thing I gotta get rid of is what? The 9 or the 7?
The 7.
7.
Now pay attention. What sign is the 7?
Minus.
Minus, right? The sign in front of it. So you're gonna have to add 7 on both sides, correct?
Yes.
You add 7 here, and you add 7 here. Now, 7 minus 7 cancels out,
0.
and this is also gonna be 0. And you're left with 9x. Now, my last step is gonna be to do what? Undo the 9. What is a number and a letter doing together?
Multiplying.
Multiplying. The opposite of multiply is?
Division.
We're gonna divide by 9 number, right? So we're gonna be x equals to 0 over 9. Can we divide by 0?
No.
So the answer will be
0.
no solution. We cannot divide by 0, and later on we're gonna learn how to graph this type of things right here, and you will not be able to graph this. That's something that we haven't learned today. But that whenever you have over here a 0 on top, it's no solution. Just like that. It's 0 or no solution. That's how you take care of this one.
So the answer gonna be no solution.
You just put no solution. On the answer, we just put in no solution. You show your work, but you still put in no solution. You can't do this. That can't happen. If you put it on the calculator, it won't let you. Now, number 5. Let's look at number 5. Now we're gonna do number 5. Number 5 says, and I'm gonna show you something different too. You don't have to do this, but I like it. So it says -4 equals to r over 20. Remember, fractions means to divide. Minus 5. Now, whenever we look at equations, we usually have our variables on the left side. We usually like to have our variables on the first time at the beginning. That's just the natural way to see it. In this case, we don't, and I just remember that I forgot to turn off the AC. Oh well.
Oh, well.
So, in order, you can either leave it like this and solve it the way it is, or you can rewrite it and have this on the other side. How will you do that? You just flip the tortilla around. You flip it. So now, you can do that. So R20, is this positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive, so I'm just gonna stay positive. Minus 5, don't forget the minus, equals to -4. Those two are the same equations. Those two are the same equations. Now, the next step will be to get rid of the which one? 5, okay? So how are we gonna do that?
Plus
We're gonna add 5. What we do to one side,
You do to the other.
so that cancels out. 4 minus -4 plus 5, opposite signs, subtract, keep the sign of the bigger number. So this is just the same thing as 5 minus 4, if you look at it, right?
Isn't that 1?
So that's just gonna be positive 1, and you have R over 20. You keep the equal sign where it is, and my last step is gonna be to do what?
Multiply.
Multiply by
20.
the whole thing. Los dos lados. Cancels out, so R equals to 20. And you can check that again. What's 20 divided by 20?
1.
1 minus 5.
4.
15.
1 minus 5. -4. It's right there. So I'm gonna pause there so I can turn off the AC and then come back.